Hello and welcome back to virtual third grade. I hope you all had a wonderful spring break and a very happy Easter. I hope you all saw on our special edition video that it was Charlie's birthday. And so now Charlie has sent us a video saying thank you. So that's going to play.
Go. Thank you everybody for the pictures and the videos. It made my birthday great, and I hope you guys all had a wonderful Easter.
Thank you, Charlie, for sending that video in. And like I said, I'm so happy that we are back from spring break. And not only are we back, but today is Ava's birthday. We have another birthday. And so, Ava, we want to wish you a happy birthday. So here we go.
Great day.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Happy birthday, Ava. I hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Happy birthday, Ava. Hope you have a nice day.
Happy birthday, Ava. Hope you have a good birthday.
Happy birthday, Ava. Have a great day.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Happy birthday, Ava. Hope you have a good day.
Happy birthday, Ava. I hope you have a good birthday.
Happy birthday, Ava. I hope you have a great day.
Happy birthday, Ava.
Ava, I hope you enjoyed that video of our birthday wishes, and I hope you have a wonderful birthday. And so now we're going to, I want to tell you about the difference between our videos now and the ones before spring break. So up until now, we have been working hard to not lose all of the things that we worked so hard to learn this year, but now we're going to transition into learning new material and learning new information from our curriculum so that we can be ready for fourth grade. So now, the videos are very important to watch every single day. Do the assignments and activities that I provide for you in the video so that we can all be ready for next year. And so attendance grades, those will be taken. I've told your parents in an email and in a Class Dojo message how that will happen. And so make sure that you are able to get on, watch our videos every day and follow along with us. If not, please make sure that you let me know so that we can get that figured out, because otherwise it will take a lot of work to get caught back up later. So even though we're learning new information, we're going to start the same way that we always do, and we're going to start with Bible. Here we go. For Bible today, of course, we're going to continue our devotional series, Indescribable 100-Day Journey About God and Science. Today we are on day 12 and it's titled The Star Counter. Of course, before we start, I'm going to tell you our focus verse for today. And it's from Isaiah chapter 40, verse 26, and it says, "Look up to the skies. Who created all these stars? He leads out all the army of heaven one by one. He calls all the stars by name. He is very strong and full of power. So not one of them is missing." Again, our devotion is titled The Star Counter. And here we go. A galaxy is a gigantic collection of stars, dust, and gas, all held together by gravity. Earth, the sun, and all other planets that make up our solar system are just a tiny part of our galaxy called the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way is so huge that scientists think between 100 billion and 400 billion stars are in it. They don't know exactly how many because there are just too many stars to count. But the Bible tells us that God counts each and every star, and He calls them all by name. Oh, and by the way, that's not just the stars in the Milky Way galaxy. God counts and names each star in all of the billions and billions of galaxies that we know about, and the billions and billions of galaxies that we haven't even discovered yet. That's how big and how great and how awesome our God is. God is bigger than anything we have ever seen or anything we could ever dream of or imagine. He is huge and His universe is ginormous. But do you know what's even more astonishing and wonderful? That same God who knows the stars' names also knows your name. Looking up into the sky might make you feel small, like a tiny little speck floating in the vastness of space, but you are important to God. He knows you and loves you and wants to be the most important part of your life. He wants to build a relationship with you that will never, ever end. Let's pray. God, I look up at all those stars and I'm amazed that you know all of their names. Most of all, I'm so glad that you know my name and that you are bigger than anything that we could ever face. I pray that we all keep that in mind and that we all stay safe and healthy. It's in your name we pray. Amen. I hope you all enjoyed our Bible lesson for today. Now we're going to continue on with math. We're going to start math today by doing reflex. So again, this is going to help us master our math facts. I want you to go to the link in the video description. Once you go there, you need to select our class, find your name, and then everybody's password is ABC. And then I want everyone to go until till you have the green light that is in the right-hand corner. Let's get started. All right, I hope you have all finished reflex and got that green light because that means you've mastered your facts for the day. And so that's great. Now we're going to continue on with math. We're going to continue reviewing fractions, and then we're going to add on to fractions and learn some new information. And so real quick to review fractions, hopefully now you can see my iPad on your screen. So fractions, right? Hopefully we all remember that fractions, it's really part over the whole, right? And so far we've been looking at just parts of one item or part of one whole thing, right? So if I have a circle and it's divided into fourths and one of those pieces is shaded, then that's 1/4, right? But now we're going to take it a step further and we're going to talk about fractions of a set. Fractions of a set. So it's going to be more than one item. And so before we do that, I want to review the names for the top and bottom part of our fraction. So the top part of our fraction is called the numerator. Help you remember that. And then the bottom part is the denominator, and we can remember that by denominator down. It's the bottom part or the down part of our fraction. So like I said, today we're going to be looking and working on learning fractions for a set instead of just one item. And so if we want to find the fraction for a set, that's going to be a little different than just finding the fraction of an item. So like I'll use a circle again, and it's just divided into 2, right? And if I wanted to show 1/2 with this, right, I could just shade one piece out of the 2. But now we're going to have a set, and the set's going to have more than 2 pieces. Okay, so let's have a set of 8 circles. Okay, and we're still looking to find 1/2. And so to find 1/2, some of you might just think, oh, I know it's just those first 4 on top, that would be 1/2, right? We just know that 4 is half of 8. But we know that 4 is half of 8 because what we're really doing is 8 divided by 2, and that equals 4. So we have those 8 circles that you see, and we divide it into 2 groups, right? There's one group and there's my other group. And there's 4 in each group. Okay, so the cool thing about this is when we're finding 1/2, we're dividing by 2 because our denominator is 2. So I want you to remember that as we move on. So now in your folders that I handed out yesterday at Packet Pickup, On the left-hand side, there are lots of papers, but they're paper clipped into different groups, and they're divided up by subjects. I want you to take out the math packet, the math paper clipped papers, and that should be the top part. And we're going to get out workbook page 169, page 169. And then you need a pencil, and I want you to follow along. So if you need to pause me, do that and go grab a pencil. And then how we're going to use our packets, you'll take out the papers when I tell you, and then once we're done, I just want you to move it to the right-hand side of your folder, so that way we can stay organized. Don't skip ahead on your papers, because it will help you best if we do them together. So on page 169, we're going to work more with finding fractions of sets. For numbers 1 and 2, and now I'm going to have our math paper up. So on numbers 1 and 2, it wants us to write the fraction that shows the red part. And now some of us might be able to breeze through this quickly, but some of us, we might need a refresher, right? It's been a while since we have worked with fractions. And so when we're writing the fraction that names the red part, remember fractions are part over the whole. So let's find the part of this set is the group. So let's find the part of this group that's red. And so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know part 5 is the part that's red, and now we need the total amount. So let's count how many total balloons there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 5/7 of the balloons are red. So now let's look at number 2. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to write the part as the numerator, the part that's red. So there's 1, 2. Now for our denominator, we need to write the total flowers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2/5, or 2 out of the 5 flowers, are red. Now, before we move on to number 3, I want to look quickly at the box to the left of it, and it has a picture. It has 6 flowers, and it says 1/3 of the flowers are circled. Now, we've been used to just one thing divided into parts, or even an easier part of finding, writing the fraction for the sets, but now it's going to be a little more challenging. And so it gives us 6 flowers, and it wants to know what 1/3 of the flowers are, and it figured that out by, it says thanks 6 divided by 3. So it divided by 3 because the denominator is 3. So if you think back to our example, we were finding half of 8, right? And we divided by 2 because the denominator of 1/2 is 2, right? So now we're finding 1/3. We're going to divide by 3. All right, and this only works when 1 is the numerator, or 1 is the top part of the fraction. So we know that 1/3 of 6 is 2 because 6 divided by 3 equals 2. All right, so let's move on to number 3. It says circle the part of the set, solve, and complete the sentence. So it says 1/2 of the donuts have icing. So we could count, or it tells us that there are 6 total donuts, right? And we want to find 1/2. So anytime we're finding 1/2, we're going to divide by 2 because 2 is the denominator in the fraction 1/2. So 6 divided by 2, hopefully we know that quickly, is 3. So 1/2 of 6 is 3. And then don't forget to circle the part of the set that our fraction shows. And so we circle the 3 iced donuts. Number 4, it says 1/5 of the candies are unwrapped. And so now we are finding 1/5. So like when we found 1/2, we divided by 2. When we were finding 1/3, we divided by 3. When we're finding 1/5, we're going to divide by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that tells us 1/5 of 10 is 2. And so now we'll circle the 2 candies that are unwrapped. Right, and in all these, I'm dividing by the denominator that I'm wanting to find that fraction of the set. So let's do number 5. 1/4 of the flashlights are shining, right? And so we know there are 8 total flashlights in the picture. We want to find 1/4 of that. So the denominator of 1/4 is 4. So we're taking the total number divided by 4 equals 2. So 1/4 of 8 is 2, and I can circle the 2 flashlights. Number 6, let's read it together. Jack has 9 pairs of pants. 1/3 of his pants have holes in the knees. How many pairs of pants have holes? And so real quick, we can look. We see that he has 9 total pairs, right? And we can draw a picture. I'm just going to do circles. He has 9 total pairs of pants, and 1/3 of the pants have holes. So we're going to divide by 3 because the denominator of 1/3 is 3, and that is 3. 1/3 of 9 is 3. So 3 pairs of Jack's pants have holes, and then we can circle our 3 pants. So I really hope you're understanding this, seeing this. It might be a little tricky at first, but the more we do it, the easier it'll get and the faster you will be. So now I want you to flip over to page 170. On page 170, I'm going to give you a couple problems that I want you to do. It's not going to be the whole page. I'm going to give you some problems, and I want you to practice. Right? So I want you to do number 1 and 2. So I would circle these as we go. So circle number 1 and number 2. Number 4. Number 6. And then I want you to pick 2 of the time to review. You can pick any 2 of the time to review problems. And for those, I know it's been a while since we've done that. Take your time, go place by place, and remember, start in the ones place. So go ahead, pause the video, and work on page 170 of our math workbook. All right, so hopefully now everybody has finished their math workbook page. If you have not, pause the video, go back and finish it. Now we're going to move on to reading. For reading for the next couple weeks, we're going to be reading a story called Flat Stanley. Today we're not going to start the book, we're just going to introduce it. And so some of you, only a couple of you, you had the actual book sent home in your packet. And so if that's you, then just watch, but you won't have to do this part. The rest of us, I want to make sure that we can find our Flat Stanley book on Epic. And so however you've been logging on to Epic, I want you to go ahead and do that. And Flat Stanley, it should be in your mailbox or in your library because I assigned it to you, and just make sure you can find it. And then once you can find it, you're good to go, because tomorrow we're going to start that story. And again, it's important you don't read ahead because we're going to read it together. I might have you read it independently. I might have you read it to somebody in your house, or I might read it to you. And so I want to make sure that we all stay on the same schedule with reading Flat Stanley. And then once you make sure that you can find the story, I want you to get out our Flat Stanley packet, and then I want to go to the very back page, and there is a word search. On the word search, I just want us to do that because it's going to make us familiar with the words that we're going to see in the story. So go ahead and pause the video and work on our Flat Stanley word search. All right, for language today, we're going to review nouns. So I hope you remember. If not, we're going to discuss them, but nouns are a person, a place, or a thing. And so today, I want you to take out page 118. Again, this is in the paper clipped papers for language. And then again, it's page 118. So go ahead and take that out, and then once we're done, then you can put it to the right side of your folder. And so again, a noun is the name of a person, place, or thing. And this is talked about on page 118. And the top of it, the title, says Nouns 1. And so it gives us a list of different examples of nouns under the categories person, places, or things, right? So under people, it has Martin Luther, Steve, teacher, Miss Perkins, student. Under places, we see church, heaven, home, world, barn. And then under things, we see bicycle, cross, flowers, kites, and books. And so now I'm going to put my iPad on the screen. And so hopefully you can see that now. And then we're going to go through this together. And so on part A, it gives us a list of nouns. It wants us to read it and then write the words under the correct headings. And so I just want you to pick one for each category. So I would look in the box, find one that's a person, one that's a place, and one that's a thing. And then put it in the correct category. You don't have to do all the words, just one for each category. So for persons, you'll just find one word out of the box. For places, one word out of the box, and things, one word. Just one word for each category. Okay, and then part B, so you can go ahead and come back to part A, but part B, we're going to do this one together. So it wants us to read the list of words, and then we're going to circle which ones that are nouns. So I'm going to go through them, and then try to think in your head before I say it if it's a noun or not. So table. This is going to be a noun, so we are going to circle it because that is a thing. Playground. Yes, it is a noun because it's a place, so we're going to circle that. Mr. McDonald. Yep, it is a person. Minister. Again, yes, it's a person, kind of like a preacher. Ran. Nope, ran is not a noun, it's not a person, place, or thing. It's more of an action or something that we can do. Next, horse. Of course, that's a noun, thing, or an animal. All right, Bible. Yep, it's a thing. Read. No, not a noun. It's not a person, place, or thing. It's another action, something that we do. So, not a noun. So you can just leave it blank. I crossed it. Walked. Again, not a noun. Slowly. Not a noun. Town. Yes, it's a noun. It's a place. Yogurt. Again, yes, it's a thing. Sing. Nope, that's something that we do. Butterflies. Yep. That is a thing. Pie. Yep, again, that is a thing. And then beautiful. Nope, that is not a noun. That's not a person, place, or thing. Although it does describe a person, place, or thing, it is not a person, place, or thing. And then here is your challenge. So, I'm going to challenge you. I want you to read that paragraph, that's part C, and I want you to circle all the words that are nouns. So you're going to read every word, and then if you think it's a noun, circle it. So of course it starts with, so example, the first sentence says, Jesus once told the story of a woman who had lost a coin. So you're going to go through each word and figure out if it's a noun. So very first word, Jesus, yes, it's a noun. I'm going to circle it, right? And so you're going to go through the whole thing, and then tomorrow, for language, when we start, I'm going to see how many you got correct and the challenge. So I'll go through them. So let's see how many you can get correct. And that is all for language today. So go ahead, pause the video, finish up your workbook page, and then if you need to go do some jumping jacks, go to the bathroom, get a drink, take a little brain break, that's okay. I know these days are longer than what we're used to. But then make sure we don't skip any part of the video. So then once you're ready and focused, come back and we will continue with spelling. All right, for spelling today, we are starting a new list number 26. I'm going to read you the words, but I want you to follow along. So in your spelling, in the paperclip packet, I want you to go to page 102. And so on page 102, you're going to follow along as I read our words to the left. And so now hopefully you can see my screen or my iPad on your screen and then follow along as we go. Shady, pony, foggy, tiny, easy, ponies, shadier, tiniest, foggiest, easier, supply, cloudy, bumpy, supplies, cloudier, bumpiest, wisest, flatter, guide, and guard. And so again, these are new words for list 26. And so we're going to be working on these this week. And so today on page 102, we're going to do some of it together, and then I'm going to leave you some to do on your own. So for the first part, the word sort, it says the base words are listed below. So again, the base word, that's the word without a suffix or without a prefix. It's just the base word. And so it gives us the base word, and then we need to sort each remaining pattern word beside its base word. So if we look to the left and we see our spelling list, under the section that's pattern words, so up until review words, we're going to write the other form of that word that has the base word in it. So for example, shady, right? We see that there's shady, our very first word, but there's another word in there that has shady as the base word. So now we need to find it, and it might have a suffix or prefix, but then we write that on the line. Make sure we spell it correctly and write neatly, and let's practice our cursive. All right, so we're looking for a word with the base word shady. And I see shadier. So now we're going to write it on the line. Sorry, it's kind of hard to write on here. Shadier. Good. And then next, pony. So now we need to find another word that has the base word pony. And we see just normal pony, but that's right there. Now I see ponies. Good. So you kind of get the hang of it. We're finding the word that has the base word, but we're writing the other form of that word on the line. We'll do one more together, and then I'll leave you to it. So our next word, foggy. Foggy. We look through our list, and I see foggiest. So it's the foggiest outside. Foggiest. So a lot of these words are comparing words. It's using ER, EST, right? So if something is, for example, our word shadier, that means it's more shady. And then foggy, we had our word foggiest. That means it's the most foggy, right? It's more foggy than anything. And so I want you to continue, do the remaining part of this page. For the memory words, you're only going to use the two memory words as your choices. I want you to go ahead, finish this spelling workbook page, pause the video until you do that, and then we'll move on. All right, hopefully you are all now done with your workbook page. If not, pause, go back and finish it. And then now I want you to finish. You can practice your words either by writing them in a creative way with crayons, markers, colored pencils. You could use Play-Doh, Legos, anything to practice your words, or you can do a couple games on Spelling City. But just make sure we're really practicing our words. But now that is the end of our day. I know this virtual school day has been longer than normal. I hope that we're able to stay focused. If you need to take breaks in between subjects, that's fine. Just make sure we don't skip any part of the video, because it's all very important, and especially because it prepares us for 4th grade. And so make sure we come back here, watch the videos every day, because otherwise, once you do watch, you're going to have a lot of work to make up. So make sure we follow along, do the very best that we can, and then we will get through this together. And so I hope you all have a very good rest of your day, and don't forget, check back here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can check either on our YouTube channel or the link on Class Dojo. Let me know if you have any questions, if you need help, and I would be happy to set up a video call with you or give you some extra practice. Have a great rest of your day.